What's your conspiracy for the week, Kyle? Fill me in.
You ever heard about Project Bluebeam?
No. What the fuck are you talking about?
All right. So this theory was first outlined by a Canadian journalist in 1994
Okay.
by a guy named Serge Monast.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's not from America.
He was Canadian.
Knew it.
In 1994, he wrote a paper called Project Bluebeam NASA, in which he claimed to have inside information from government contacts.
Okay. What is this blue beam, though? Like, is it... I'm imagining a blue beam coming from the sky and
There's
just
no
eviscerating
blue
someone.
beam,
Oh.
but he does think that there's like a lot of holograms involved. But anyway,
So what is this project then?
So Serge said this project included 4 main phases. Phase 1 would be the breakdown of archaeological knowledge. Basically, fake discoveries would change the way we understood history or religion. Basically, the government or some higher, like society would plant archaeological evidence that would alter history as we know it.
Like we dug up a dinosaur and it wasn't ever real. The government put the bones there?
Sort of.
Okay.
Serge thought it would particularly be something of some like religious significance. So some sort of artifact. Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, they all have like basically the same God essentially, but one like they all have basically like one minor difference in their belief. So it would probably be something of like an artifact that affected like those 3 religions, most likely.
So they would plant like a religious artifact for researchers to dig up and be like, wow, this is true. And it's not really true.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So they would basically like disprove Jesus or prove Jesus or something like that. That would basically, the goal would be to probably unite all 3 of the religions into one. Because those 3 religions are pretty dominant. I think there's like 5 main religions if you include like Hinduism and Buddhism.
Why do you think they would want to unite the religions?
So the main goal of Project Bluebeam would be to unify like a world government to basically have like one like a new world order sort of.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole idea is to usher in a new world.
Imagine
order.
if the feds governed the world.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So stage 2 or phase 2 would be a massive display. Basically, the general public would be fooled into believing a religious apocalypse or large alien invasion was occurring in order to necessitate a global government or new world order. And today, this could realistically probably be done with holograms from satellites, like like Elon Musk is sending like thousands of satellites into the sky for his whatever program.
The Elon program.
Yeah, he's got so many companies. It's gets hard to keep track of them all. But or light displays from drones. There's we already do that where we have like fancy light displays for 4th of July or whatever, and we can make faces in the sky already. So light displays from drones or staged natural disasters like wildfires or tsunamis. So obviously a wildfire is pretty easy to start. You just light something on fire in a desert with a lot of trees or something, like California. Or a tsunami. You could probably cause a tsunami by like setting a bomb off like under the water in the ocean or something like that. So I think a lot of these ideas are probably possible today with modern technology.
Do you think that like, okay, I have a couple questions about this. First off, correct me if I'm wrong, but this sounds like something that like a journalist, like someone has theorized. Do you think this is really happening in the world today? Like, do you think there's anyone's planting these artifacts? Or like, what is...
One thing that's kind of really popular right now in today's media is this like 3I or I3 Atlas. Like it's this basically a meteor from interstellar space that's entering our galaxy, and a lot of people are speculating that it could be alien or alien spacecraft or something like that. And it's only the third recorded object from interstellar space to enter through our asteroid belt. But one thing that I noted was that all three of these recorded objects from interstellar space started I think the first one was 2008 or 2012. So for me, I don't know that it's as rare as we think it is. I think maybe we're just recently getting the technology and the idea even to even try and track that sort of thing. So
what is I'm curious, what is for example, the U.S. government doing this? What are they doing right now? Are they burying stuff? Are they beaming shit into our heads? What are they doing?
Well, they are bringing a lot of attention in the media to, things like Oumuamua or Three Eye Atlas. And as of late, there's a lot of attention in the media with aliens in general, that white pill-shaped thing that the military officers are always talking about on Joe Rogan and stuff like that.
Oh, aliens are real as fuck. Listen, whether
probably
the guys who have seen them go on fucking Joe Rogan or not,
probably.
I just don't believe that we are the only planet that harbors living creatures.
But I think it's interesting that that's always been a secret until as of lately. As of recently they're talking about it all the time, and military or government officials themselves are just going on Joe Rogan and talking about it. And I do question what changed. Why was that something that all of them were terrified to talk about? And now suddenly they're being so public about it.
I mean, they're going on Joe Rogan, though.
Right.
I don't know if I would consider, listen, with no disrespect to Joe Rogan, his show is great. I don't know if I would consider Joe Rogan a suitable official news source,
No, but he does have a large audience. And I think it's very interesting that these, assumingly credible sources are going in front of such a large audience, and
he's not just getting random crackheads that are I saw an alien.
Right.
He's getting people with verifiable, accolades.
Commander Joe Frazier's going and saying he saw aliens himself. And
can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about aliens? Do you think we're alone in the universe?
I don't. But I don't necessarily think that they would be as interested in us as we think.
Why is that?
I think it would take a ridiculous amount of resources to travel intergalactically.
For sure.
And I don't think that there's probably really any incentive for any... I think a super advanced civilization would probably be capable of finding sufficient energy and resources on their own planet. I don't necessarily think that they'd have enough interest to travel to ours.
It's an interesting take. I feel like my POV, the way I think of it, I think as humans, if we had the tech to travel intergalactically, if we could go to a new galaxy and fly by all the planets, maybe even land on them, we probably would, no? So who's to say that aliens wouldn't feel that curiosity?
I think that, I think that if we found out that Mars was made of 90% diamonds and oil...
We're in that bitch digging!
Right.
Yes!
We'd land on Mars tomorrow.
I'm iced out, bro, yes.
But why don't we land on Mars tomorrow? Because it's not worth it. There's no financial incentive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that same logic would apply to another advanced civilization. And maybe it's not financial, but I think that any advanced civilization has resources and things that they need to survive. And I don't necessarily think that they need what we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I do think aliens are probably real, but I think it's very suspicious that suddenly our government is pointing to them all the time and bringing so much attention to them when 20 years ago they were very polar opposite about it. They were very secretive, and all the many pop culture movies like Men in Black were basically centered on that idea that the government was so secretive about aliens.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm a firm believer that aliens definitely do exist. I don't think they exist in the form factor that, like, we see them in movies and probably picture an alien. But, like, I just think, like, on every basis, like, scientifically, bro, biologically,
Right.
there's no way that the Milky Way is the only galaxy that harbors life.
Probably not.
There's for sure galaxies so far away we don't even have a word for how far they are yet.
Right.
That contain probably very advanced civilizations on those planets, you know?
I think there's probably multiple advanced civilizations in the Milky Way. The Milky Way is huge.
Really?
Our solar system is such a small part of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been to like 2 other floating orbs in this whole galaxy.
Right.
We haven't been to any others. We just look at them through a scope and go like, well, looks empty to me, dog.
And it's really hard to observe, A, because we're surrounded by an asteroid belt, and B, because of the way like light travels. Yeah, like the way we perceive time, light travels very quickly to us, but through intergalactic space and how huge that is, light travels very slowly. So if we were to observe a planet that were, like let's say they were 1 million light years away, which is not that far in space.
Yeah.
We're seeing that planet when we observe it through a telescope 1 million years ago. If someone were to look at Earth from 1 million light years away, they'd probably still be seeing like dinosaurs and shit.
Really?
Right.
Because like
So-
the signal, like the visual.
Because
that our
light
planet
takes
puts-
that long to travel.
Let me ask something then. That's kind of a crazy question. Bigger picture than even all of this, I think. Do you think we're living in a simulation? Like, does that support or stand against the theory that we live in a simulation?
I think it's possible, but probably unlikely, no.
So let me ask a different question then. What do you think, like when we spawn in, right? When our lifetime begins, any living being's lifetime begins, what do you think dictates the life inside of them? Like, what determines whether someone is an alien in a galaxy far, far away or a human on Earth? Like, how does that even...
Well...
Do you believe in reincarnation? Or like, what do you think happens? Are we going to become
no,
aliens in the next life?
I think it'd be the same roll of the dice that you get, like, so, what makes you human versus a sunflower, right? It's just a roll of the dice that you spawned in as a human, basically. So I think it'd be the same thing. Did you spawn on Earth or did you spawn on Titan or whatever? So no, I don't think we're necessarily in a simulation. I think it's possible, but I don't think it's likely.
I feel like personally, like humanity as a whole is just so ignorant to like life, like what it even is. Like the fact that many believe that we are the only living beings in the universe is so ignorant. It's crazy.
Right.
Like there's no doubt in my mind that we aren't alone in the universe. There has to be other living beings out there, because if there's not, then what the fuck are the implications of that?
Right.
You know?
Right.
We're the only planet with living beings ever? Like, what? That's not true. There's no way. Interstellar may have been one of the most realistic movies ever made, and we just don't know it yet.
Interstellar was
Great,
a fantastic
amazing movie, bro. I've watched that so many times.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in a rehab, I watched a movie like 5 times, bro.
Yeah, I've
and
watched
it carried
that movie
me
a lot of times.
We would sit there in group therapy just talking about Interstellar. Like, what do you... Literally, this exact convo.
Have you ever watched that movie, Tripping?
No.
Incredible experience.
See, I feel like if I watched it tripping, I would like not take it really seriously. And this topic fascinates me. Like, I want to take it seriously.
So, you know, towards the end of your trip, like the last 3 or 4 hours, you kind of hit that like enlightenment phase where you're like almost...
Depends
like,
on the day, but sure.
I don't know if it's true or not, but at the least, like for me in my experience, I at least feel like I'm smarter than normal in those last few hours of my trip. And
I would agree with that. I would say I feel smarter than the hours prior.
Yeah.
That's how I
like,
put that.
So the way I would like kind of gauge this is like, so I would always play video games when I tripped. The last few hours of my trip, I would play out of my mind, like the best player I'd ever seen for the last couple hours of my trip.
Oh, this?
Sure. So I think that if you watch Interstellar in the last couple hours where you're kind of coherent and just like having crazy, like very intricate thoughts, Interstellar is the best movie of all time when tripping. Yeah.
It just really breaks my brain hurt to like think about space and aliens and that kind of stuff. Cause like, dude, despite humanity really knowing nothing about space and the universe and everything, I think it's easy to say that like we don't even know a fraction of a percent about life or like space or anything. Like our comprehension level of everything we know is entirely based on this planet. And there's tons of planets across the universe that we just don't know anything about.
You know what? One thing that kind of ruffles my feathers is you know that common thing that people are always saying, like we know more about space than we do about the ocean?
No, we fucking know.
I think that's the most ignorant statement of all time because we don't even know how big space is.
Literally, yes.
Like, no, what are you talking about?
I agree with you 100%.
We can't even calculate how much we know about space because we don't know how big it is.
We've met thousands of species that live in the ocean.
Right.
We've never met an alien.
Right.
We have
and
never
we
met a species
can calculate how big the ocean is.
Yes.
Like,
we know volume-wise how much water's in the ocean.
Right.
How
right.
much, how much of space the ocean takes. We know everything about it. We can't put a number on shit in space.
I think that's the most ignorant statement of all time.
Yep.
We know less about the ocean than we do about outer space. No. I don't know what aquamarine biologist told you that bull crap. But no. No.
Do you think that like potentially humanity will become like an interstellar species one day? Like will we be traveling and interacting with these other galaxies?
Yeah. I don't know. Intergalactic, maybe not. I do think that we will probably colonize other planets. My belief, like I was saying, I think once that a species is advanced enough, the resources on their home planet will probably be sufficient.
Yep.
So I think, I mean, a common theory is that like the most advanced civilizations are using things like Dyson spheres to harvest like the energy. It's basically
I have a Dyson vacuum.
Basically like a giant contraption built around the sun or
I looked this up. Is this like a Googleable thing?
Right. So
a Dyson sphere is a hypothetical megastructure conceived by physicist Freeman Dyson to completely enclose a star and harness its entire energy output. I'm fucked up. Sorry, you guys.
Right.
Representing an advanced civilization's ultimate energy solution.
So think like solar panels on Earth. We can capture like a good amount of energy. We're all the way on Earth. What if we could build a solar panel belt around the sun? Like just a belt of solar panels around the sun, and somehow transfer that energy to Earth.
No, honestly, I firmly believe this is probably something that there's some alien species already capitalizing on.
And we have some sort of like evidence, not hard evidence that's like, okay, for sure other civilizations are doing this, but we have some clues that other civilizations are probably doing this.
Yes.
So it's things like this, just the thought that, you know, humans can conceptualize something like that. A more advanced civilization should be more than capable of at least thinking about that. I think it's probable that something that was a civilization or a species that was capable of intergalactic travel and you know, intergalactic colonization would also be capable of something like this.
There's Mr. Dyson, bro.
And I think something like this is more practical and just
who are you looking for?
Preferable to intergalactic colonization. Because why would you realistically, why would you want to go live light years away from your family or like rather
for that
than
paper, bro. What do you mean?
Maybe, but what if you could just
bro, you bang my line and say
here.
I got you $1 billion space bucks a year to go live on fucking Jupiter and like the goddamn Giga Galaxy.
But if you're the only person on Jupiter, what is your dollar worth?
I'd crack the fuck out of an alien.
If you're the only person on Jupiter, your dollar is Venezuela money, bro. It's worth nothing. You know?
But I said space bucks, $1 million space bucks.
Yeah, but you're the only person there, so you don't have anybody to give the space bucks
yeah, but you ever seen Futurama, bro? They'd be
goods.
fucking with robots and squids and shit.
Yeah.
Like, they'd probably figure it out. I think a true advanced civilization that is like a space species that's intergalactic is multiracial or species or whatever. Like, they're interacting with different, you know, tons of different people.
I think that an intergalactic tradesman would be more likely to go to
oh hell yeah, he's
a
racist.
largely inhabited planet like Earth than the one guy on Jupiter, you know?
I agree with you. That guy would have a hard time. He is the most extreme example of a minority that humanity's ever known.
Mm-hmm.
He's 1v a billion.
Right.
Okay? Imagine if like
1v7 billion.
Imagine if like 1850 you just dropped one black guy in America.
Right.
That would be really bad because we were very wrong to those people then. So like if you got dropped on Jupiter today, yeah, you're in trouble, buddy.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I think like I feel like it would be hostile. Like if we encountered another space entity, it would not be like oh dude, we're fucking sending some reps over. Like, yeah, we got fucking Kamala Harris on the ship to fucking Jupiter. You know? Nah, we're sending Blicks over, dude. Like all our homies we know that joined the military just died on Mars. You know?
Yeah.
That's how it would I feel like it would go.
Yeah.
You know?
So you think aliens would smoke us?
Oh my God. I personally think that like we are probably in the grand scheme of things not very high on the technology totem pole.
So one theory that I have about like advanced civilizations is in order to reach that level of like really advanced technology, I think something like that, like unified government or just a unified people, one language, something where everyone can communicate together, whether they live, you know, in China or America, they can all communicate and exchange ideas and information. I think that sort of civilization would be more advanced, right? So I guess basically my point is I think there'd be a point in civilization where once you're advanced enough, things like war aren't really on your radar. And so the things like developing weapons would kind of end. And so I do wonder if there was a species capable of like intergalactic travel, would they even bother with weapons? Like, or would they be a mostly peaceful civilization? Because when we send scientists to research, you know, monkeys in South America, are they bringing assault rifles and giant weapons? No, but they're pretty peaceful. Why? Because they don't need to smoke.
We already
the monkeys.
beat them though. Like in the grand natural selection scheme, we beat the monkeys. They're not a threat. They might beat the shit out of one scientist. We're humans, bro. We'll smoke his bitch ass.
I think that a more advanced civilization would think of us the same way. They don't need weapons. They're way more intelligent than us.
I actually
they don't need
disagree.
Weapons.
I think they would perceive an unknown threat as a valid one, and they would probably really prepare for that. And then they come here, probably blick a little bit, and realize, oh shit, we're smoking them.
Do you think that aliens have been to Earth yet? Like, do you think that so then why aren't they smoking us?
I think they probably just came by one time and visited on their way to somewhere else.
I think they treat us like we treat, like, National Geographic stuff.
You want to go into a whole different conspiracy right now? Because here's why I think the aliens visited Earth before.
Okay.
The pyramids are not fucking possible without alien technology.
Okay.
Like, without current technology, like, how the fuck did they place all those blocks and then carve? Like, no, they didn't do that at the time.
And I support that. Some of those blocks are like 180 tons. That's
so operating on the assumption, like, let's say we both agree, okay, aliens had a hand in the development of the pyramids, and they've been here before. why aren't they still here? Why aren't they coming back?
Right.
You know?
My theory on that is and because also pyramids are all around the equator.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all built around the same era. I don't think it's coincidence that humans all got that idea at the same time. Let's all build pyramids around the equator.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probable maybe there was an alien civilization where their primary resource was like gold. Because what were all of those pyramids all around the equator filled with? Gold. Mm-hmm. Whether it was the Aztecs or the Egyptians,
interesting,
they were filled with gold. So I think it's probable the pyramids were built by aliens. The aliens needed gold as a resource. It's a fantastic conductor of electricity, you know. It's also like fantastic in acoustic situations or environments. I get whatever. We use it. Yeah, we use it for audio stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But gold is a fantastic resource. Yeah, I think it's possible aliens at one point needed gold as a valuable resource and made our pyramids and told us fill those pyramids with gold. Mm-hmm. But it seems they haven't really needed that gold anymore. So maybe that resource is outdated for them now. Just like, you know, iron is sort of outdated for us. We still use it, but not the way we used to.
I kind of imagine like the aliens that pulled up during the pyramids were probably some of the earliest aliens to either A, come to our galaxy, or B, just get intergalactic technology in general. And they were probably casing their surroundings. So like, yo, what are the nearby threats? I think if humanity developed that technology where we could go to a different galaxy, that would probably be one of the first things we did. We would immediately go travel to all these other planets and be like, well, what is threatening us right now? Are there any other species? We would like... If us sitting here are asking those questions and debating this topic, there's no way the highest level people at NASA and all these agencies that develop that stuff aren't asking the same thing.
I think that if we found monkeys on Mars,
they'd be space monkeys. They wouldn't be art monkeys.
I think that we would build pyramids in logical locations around Mars and train the monkeys to fill those pyramids with things like diamonds and oil.
Okay, you just lost me.
You valuable resources. I think we'd train the monkeys to fill those pyramids with valuable resources like oil or diamonds or gold, and then we'd just stop by, pick up the resources, and bring it back to Earth.
No, you had me up until space monkeys are filling our space pyramids with oil. And then you lost me. I think the aliens built the pyramids. Why are we building them?
No, so I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened here. We are the monkeys. They built the pyramids, and now instead of oil, which would appeal to us, we're filling the pyramids with gold, or at least we used to.
So you think there's pyramids on other planets?
No, I'm just saying that if we found monkeys on Mars and there was oil there, we'd do the same thing. We'd build pyramids and we'd tell the monkeys, fill those pyramids with oil so that we can come back and claim that oil, and then we'll teach you things, you know, like how to build fire.
So they did a little tech trade or something.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, a research agreement.
And it's possible that things like that are still going today. Remember, 2008 or 2010, there was that big government push for cash for gold. They were giving everybody cash for tons of gold.
This is a crazy conspiracy.
It's possible that that's how we have the technological advancements we have today. Is we're still making those trades.
We were serving commercials to your grandma to buy her jewelry.
So maybe instead of the Pyramid of Giza, it's just they go to the White House or Area 51 and they trade gold for technology.
Honestly, I hope you're right. For my optimism about life as a whole, I hope you're right. That would be sick.
Yeah.
Would you want it? Would you want to interact with aliens if they pulled up? Would you want to go meet them?
That'd be dope. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. I mean, my brain. You literally brought. I don't think you understand how much you had me up until monkeys are putting oil in.
That was just a metaphor. I don't think that's really happening. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think that's what happened to us.
Okay.
I think we're the monkeys.
We're the monkeys.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just think aliens in general at some point in history, no matter what they made us do for them, pulled up and probably realized pretty quickly we're not a fucking threat. Because even right now, we don't have the technology to even poke an intergalactic species.
Right.
You know?
Like, it was breaking news when Korea said they could send a missile to California.
Mm-hmm.
We can't send a missile to Mars.
I want to send a missile to Pluto.
Like, if we can't send a missile to Mars, we cannot send a missile to a galaxy far, far away, right? So we are not a threat.
Yes.
It would take us hundreds of years to even send a probe to another planet. So, yeah, we're not a threat to anybody.
Shout out all the aliens, bro. They're probably cool people. They're probably never going to see this episode.
Yeah.
What would you, like, all right, hypothetically, that camera right now, there's an alien watching whatever that's putting out. What are you going to say to that camera right now?
Thank you. If you gave us the technology that you did, that's pretty cool. The pyramids are pretty dope. Fire. Yeah, gold was a good trade-off probably. So, cool.
Gold prices are high right now, bro. Might not be that good.
Yeah. But that might be because there's less supply, supply and demand. Maybe demand stayed the same, but supply went down because the aliens made another pickup.
You know how, like, those cartel guys in Mexico do, like, those posts where they flex a bunch of, like, American money?
Mm-hmm.
You think the aliens are doing money spreads with Benjamins?
It's possible.
They go to Jupiter and, like, Galaxy 98,000.
But isn't it also curious? Like, why do, like, the two largest gold reserves in the world are Fort Knox and then the British royal family?
You just riled me the fuck up saying Fort Knox.
So
there's no gold in there.
Really?
That shit hasn't been audited in decades, bro. There's no gold in that bitch. I promise right now. How do you think we bailed ourselves out of the 2008 housing crisis? We dipped our hands into Fort Knox and we never stopped doing it. And that's why.
Or maybe it was crypto. Because you said the last time that portfolio was touched was 2010. So prior to 2010, maybe we did use it to get out of the housing crisis.
I think there's a very good reason why the current administration and prior administrations refuse to audit Fort Knox's gold stash because they know what the outcome is going to be already.
I think we got out of the 2008 housing crisis just because Obama's policies were really good, man.
Yeah, but that's not very conspiracy. That's not very Dale Gribble of you. That's super like, all right, bro, just go stand in the line at the polls then, bro. Like, just go vote, like, fuck. I'm at home tweaking, dude.
I was just kidding.
Well, Kyle, I got to say, first and foremost, I think we actually crushed it with the conspiracies this week. I definitely believe that there's some alien shit we don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had some good conspiracies. But I feel like it's time to reminisce a little bit. Take it back to reality. We're talking about the space aliens and the Bitcoin being owned by the CIA. I'm going to take this off. I feel like we can...
Yeah, mine's starting to fall.
Yeah, mine's falling too.
Annoying.
No.
I also... Noise, yeah.
I feel like I didn't explain earlier. I went for a kind of banana peel vibe today, but I put it on backwards. So, like, I just realized that and I took it off. It was supposed to be like this. A little more over the front.
It looks like the top half of, like, a pumpkin.
I was thinking banana peel, cabbage. But pumpkin works too. Yeah, cabbage as well.
Have you seen that one video where, like, the two boys are on that speedboat and they got that leaf over their face?
No, what the fuck?
Like, to protect their face from bugs when they're going fast in the speedboat? Oh, well, it looked like that, but on the top of your head instead of the front.
Well, I made the Crackheads version.
Right.
But